Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll be reviewing the Mark II from ZeroBreeze. It's a portable AC unit that I've got right here. The Mark II from ZeroBreeze is a portable air conditioning unit that uses lithium batteries. The battery right here that is proprietary to ZeroBreeze can be purchased in multiple sets. They are coming out with a new battery that does allow you to charge as well as run the unit simultaneously. But right now, the battery here has a power outlet right here that connects to the unit outlet right here, or I should say the inlet, and this is what powers it. But you can also use the power cord right here that can plug in directly into your van or any power system that you might have, or if you're going to use it at home, you can do it that way as well. This is the cord right here that plugs into the ZeroBreeze. All you have to do is match up the pins that go from the battery into the unit, just like so. You can also screw these in to secure them. They have a pretty good fit, so I just don't do it, but you could if you wanted to. Over here, you'll notice that there's a ducting system here where this comes off right here, and then this attaches these tubes right here. You've got 3 of them. You've got 2 that go in the rear, and then 1 that goes in the front. The front one you can screw in or just choose not to have it at all. I screw it in because it serves a couple purposes that I'll get to a little bit later. In the rear, you've got an intake and an exhaust. The exhaust is not toxic, there's no fumes. It's basically just hot air that comes from the condenser inside the unit. The intake and the exhaust, as well as the outtake, which is the AC, we'll get to the different functions of those a little bit later and how we can use those depending on the temperature of what we want to achieve, whether it's a hot day or a cold night. How we can use those to our advantages, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. For the tubes, all you have to do is simply you basically extend this a little bit over here, and you can see over here there's a thread inside that's molded into these duct plates, these mounting plates, and then you just screw these ducts in, and then you can divert the in this case the exhaust to wherever you need to. One side's the intake, so you want to, obviously keep that away from the exhaust, or else you'll be making the ZeroBreeze less efficient because it'll be pulling in hot air versus cool air from somewhere else. And then over here is obviously where the AC is going to come out of. This can usually get between, I would say, the high 50s, like 58 degrees, all the way up maybe around 65 degrees, but it's still pretty good. It's pretty cool for what you want to achieve on a cool day. Now keep in mind, this outtake right here is the equivalent to 1 AC vent, so don't expect this to blow like a, like a giant fan or cool the van or your vehicle rapidly. It's a cool cooling vent that is designed to cool a particular area, whether that's maybe directly in front of your face or a sleeping area like I have in the back of the van. We can direct the tube into that sleeping area and keep that particular area of the vehicle cool. Okay. Now the unit has a series of different buttons up here. We've got a fan function, which I'll show you up close. We've got like a little rocket symbol, which puts it on full blast. We've got a snowflake symbol, which is the air conditioning. A moon with a little Z next to it, which is sleep mode. And then you have a little light here that produces a light that you'll be able to see in this ring. And then over here you've got a power button, as well as the fan speeds, which you've got a plus and a minus sign for increasing and decreasing the speed of the air. The first thing you're going to want to do is, after it's plugged in the back, you want to press this power button. And by the way, you've got multiple USB ports right here. It is a lithium battery, so in a sense it is like a battery bank. So if you need to charge your devices like your phone or anything like that, maybe lights, flashlights, or whatever it may have, you can do that through the front over here. Just simply press this. You can hear it beep a couple times. Lights over here, these light up. And then all you have to do is press the power right here. You'll notice that up here is red. As the AC starts to, starts to run, it will start to cool, and then it will turn blue, which will indicate that it'll be blowing cool air. Now in here, you'll see there's a little temperature gauge, a thermometer, which shows the output of the temperature that's coming out of here, and it'll slowly decrease as the fan continues to blow, and then you can increase right here, and then it will begin to spool up before it starts to put out a good amount of airflow. But it's cool. Right now it's reading 65 Fahrenheit, and it will start to decrease slowly. As you can see, probably it's at 64, and if we're lucky, it's at 63 now, and it will hopefully get into the 50s. Now that's if we're trying to cool the van, right? So right now it's blowing cool air. It's gonna help circulate some fresh air in here. You can feel over here the intake and the exhaust. We're feeling a little bit of hot air. As the fan starts to run more, we're gonna feel that it's gonna get even hotter. I did a temperature check on it. I think we got a little bit over 100 degrees on it. So, keep that in mind, that we do want to vent the hot air out of the vehicle. That way we're not mixing it in here and making it less efficient. Now, on the flip side, if it were a cold night, we could, in theory, use the hot air coming out of this unit to heat the van or the vehicle up. Now it's not going to be hot like a diesel heater or a propane heater, but it is pretty warm. Like I mentioned earlier, it can get over 100 degrees, although it is a small outtake right here I say exhaust. Again, there's no fumes or anything toxic coming out of it. It's just hot air coming off of the condenser. But we could keep this here. The intake can stay here because that will keep it warm, and then we can actually vent the cold air out of the vehicle. So I'll talk about how we can achieve venting out of the vehicle, whether it's going to be the hot air or the cool air. Now as I press the fan button, the condenser will shut off. It becomes much quieter, and then we get a nice circulation of air from the fan itself. Also, while we've got it on the front facing side, this is the light. If I press the light, you should see a light light up. That's kind of like a nice little night light if you need it, or if you need to look for something in the dark real quick. But that's the light function. And if you have this this mounting bracket uninstalled, then obviously you'll have more light because the light ring is being hidden just a little bit, as you can kind of see from this bracket right here. What I'd like to show you is putting the vent on is pretty easy. You can see that over here there's some threads. All you really have to do is spin this in this direction and it will be counterclockwise to sink in to it, and that should lock it in, and then we'll do the same on the other side. One easy way to put these vents on, because the unit is kind of heavy, if you don't have a stand or a floor, to put this on, is you can just easily disconnect this vent here by pressing on this button. This button, you just press it, it releases off, and then we can assemble it when we're done putting the vents back on. Okay, we've got the vents on right here. These are the tubes that came with it. These tubes are expandable, as you can see, and we can put them in different directions right here so that they're not commingulating and or commingling. And then the cold air we can vent, you know, to my face or wherever it's gonna point to, whichever direction that we want to do. Okay, one thing that I want to show you is, well, some people may not have the means of venting the exhaust or the cold air out of their vehicle or maybe a tent. So people will make their own devices. I just went over to Home Depot. I purchased a 4-inch, I guess some sort of like a duct adapter. I'll have to modify this a little bit, but just to give you an idea of what I'm gonna do, I'll go ahead and put this duct adapter on here. It just fits in snug, like so. You can see it stands on like that. Now what I have is a flange area, and I can go ahead and cut this excess part here and then put on some double-sided tape or whatever means that I have or that I come up with to direct it out. But I have, you know, windows here in the van, a screen that I can double-side tape this over here and have it stick in like that. And that is where either the cold air, if I'm gonna do, you know, try to achieve a heater, you know, at night, or the hot air, the exhaust, you know, to direct out of the window if I'm trying to achieve, you know, a cooler environment temperature. So that's basically what I would do. If you can see it, looks like that. Cut this ring off, put some double-sided tape, then I can mount this to wherever I need to, and then whenever I want to use the ZeroBreeze Mark II, I'll just go ahead and connect the duct to it, and everything that I don't want will be out of the vehicle. Really quick, one more thing that I want to talk to you about is that the ZeroBreeze is pretty efficient. What I would say is that I have not had a problem with condensation building up inside the ZeroBreeze, although they did design a drainage right here. You can see at the bottom there's a little a male kind of connection. They give you this tube. This tube you can connect, actually it's this side. The rubber side goes there and it fits like so. And you know, should you be running this, you know, for I think their runtime is 3 to 5 hours on night mode. I've run the fan up to 6 hours before killing the battery. But you can just run this tube into like a water bottle or outside your vehicle or outside your tent, and then the condensation, or you know, the water that may accumulate can drain out of here, and that way it doesn't create a puddle or any, you know, wet area that you don't want it to be in. Like I said, I have not had that, and I've run it for 6 hours and have not seen that issue, but it's there if you need it. And I guess that really just depends on what part of the country that you're in, what your environment is.